So over the lockdown period, a lot of people have got puppies, lockdown puppies, and there's a few little key points we need to look at with these puppies so we don't arise, issues don't arise as we go back to work. So the first one is going to be crate training, and it's making sure you crate train your dog properly. The reason for that is it's going to help with separation anxiety. It's going to help get your dog used to being away from you, and this is a key component when you go back to work. So one of the big things is, you know, during lockdown we're probably giving our dogs a little bit too much affection. We're all a little bit more emotional, and we put that emotion into our dog. So making sure that we do that crate training, we start to bring that crate training into our dog's life, is going to really help with that transition of us going back to work. The other good thing about crate training is it's going to really help with your toilet training. And when you've got a dog under about 5 or 6 months, one of the easiest ways I've found to toilet train my dogs is to keep them in the crate on the hour, every hour, take them toilet. And every single time the dog comes out of that crate, you have to take the dog toilet, and that's just going to ingrain into the dog. First thing you do when you come out of the crate, go toilet. It's going to prevent the dog from having any accidents in the house. Rules and boundaries. So setting up rules and boundaries in your house for your dog is a very key part of training. It's very similar with kids. If we don't have boundaries in the house and we take them out to the supermarket, are we going to expect them to listen? Okay, so the in-home environment is where we spend 80% of the time with our dog, and in that the dog is a product of their environment. So making sure we have a structured boundaries in that environment is going to help with the training. I tend to find you can get everything else right outside of the house, but if you don't get that in-home environment right, you're not going to get anywhere with the training. So start to get the dogs off the furniture, you've setting boundaries around food, and this is all going to make a massive difference in the way your dog behaves when out and about on a walk. Socialization. So socialization is probably the biggest thing we could do for our dogs. Okay, so socialization starts when the dog's young, 3 to 4 months. We want to start taking it out into new environments, and it's important we change the way we think about socializing. Go into new environments with the mindset of socialization is about teaching your dog what's expected in that environment and creating a calm dog, and that's going to create a well-balanced social dog that we can take anywhere as the dog grows up. They say it takes about 200 to 500 repetitions, consistent repetitions, for your dog to understand what's expected from it. So make sure you put in the work. You can't just let the dog go and expect it to listen to you. You've got to teach the dog what's expected, teach a language, teach a communication system, and obedience is the way to do it. Play. So play is something that we can utilize as a way to stimulate our dog. However, we need to make sure we put boundaries around the play as well. So what happens a lot, what I see a lot of the time with puppies, is we wind the puppy up into a frenzy in the house, and then when we try set boundaries in the house, it's very hard because the dog associates that situation and that environment with play. So making sure we play outside, making sure that we calm the dog down after play. A really good way to do that is some obedience training before and after actually engaging in play. Right, so in that play, you know, a common one is with the little staffies and things like that. We wind them up and they get themselves stuck into a frenzy. We don't want to wind the dog up to that point. We want to, what I call, put a cap on it. So we want to wind the dog up, play with the dog a little bit, but when it starts to get too much, we stop the play. We do some form of structure, and maybe waiting, and maybe a downstay, and maybe a little bit of obedience again. Once the dog's de-escalated, refocused a little bit, we can re-engage in play. This is going to help with impulse control as the dog goes up. It's going to stop the dog from feeling like it needs to chase things in the environment, and it's going to add a nice element to your day-to-day living with the dog. But make sure you set up boundaries during that play. One of the biggest parts of raising a puppy is going to be time, and sometimes, you know, we run out of time, we're putting all this effort into the puppy and we forget about the feeding of the dog. So Feed My Fur Baby is making it easy for you to get food to your doorstep, easy to drop off to their door, and it's also great for the animals. Feed My Fur Baby is a New Zealand company, so us here at Good Dog Training, we want to promote New Zealand companies. So we love collabing with companies like this that have a good cause and they're eco-friendly and trying to help the environment. We're all about that. So look at Feed My Fur Baby. It's a great option for your dog.